It's Wednesday, May 7th, and we're full of special kids. Apparently some are specialer than others. Yeah, or just stop talking, period. Everybody. If you want to write in book, page 160 is going to be the checkpoint for tomorrow. In theory, you got to page 150 with the end of chapter 9. Chapter 10 is short. It's all of 10 pages, and I think we're going to get to like half of them today if things go the way we want. Sort of depends on how many of you read last night, because it depends on how things go today in class.
We did not read. I did not read.
So I figure I will keep reminding you, page 160 is the checkpoint for tomorrow, and then end of book, page 180 is your checkpoint for Friday? Friday. Days are hard. Day of service, hopefully you have now met with your day of service person yesterday during fest. If you got a permission slip, some groups did, some did not. My group did not. If yours did, you can either turn your permission slip into that teacher, your first period teacher, or you can turn it into me, your English teacher. Any of those are fine with me. If you have a permission slip, some of them are due today, some of them are due next week, some of them are due Friday. If you don't turn in permission slip, you don't get to join day of service. What that means is they just put you in ISR for the day. I don't recommend that. It's probably not as much fun as you might think. So hopefully get your permission slip turned in to help you out. And if you were the group that read last night, you should know my shirt because it is part of the things in the conversation that pops up and it says Stay Gold Pony Boy. If not, we'll talk about it today in a moment. And I figured since I had Stay Gold Pony Boy shirt, I would go ahead and put my gold up there, and we'll see how much gold I get today during class.
You saw that too, right?
Yeah, I'm right here. Again, old, not blind. Annalise.
Where do we get the permission slips?
From that teacher. Go to that teacher.
Too much airports, actually.
You still be mad at me if I finish the book like to stay here?
Just watch the scene.
If you picture up here, I don't normally bring attention to it, but it looks very similar to yesterday's picture. But there is a difference. One of the groups at Camp Tecumseh, when I was doing the pictures of the groups from doing the balloon flying, they asked me to Photoshop raccoons into their picture. And so they did one where they were just all posing and acting like they were holding things, and then they had me go back, so I figured I would show you my Photoshopped. This was yesterday's I had up there, and then today I put the one up there with the actual raccoons. I know, they look very lifelike, and you're like, I can tell those raccoons look really real. That was my thought I was going for. Mr. Malinowski, did it go well last period? Did he get something done? Hey, that's a win. And Chloe, I'm going to have you take her to a different location. If you go to library, on this side of library, they have rooms that are distraction free. And I'm going to have you take her in there. Do you have an iPad?
It's like dead, but I don't.
Would you like a charger for it? If you go down over here, Mr. Malinowski, I have cords and chargers. So go and see my red red dot. Go this way, down here. There you go. And then one for her so she can charge iPad so it doesn't die.
Wait, it's a different table.
What's that?
Bring the one right? Yeah.
There you go.
Look at my book.
Alright.
Simeon, that was bite-sized egg.
Then for here, again, those of you who did well on the first one, if I've been making the buttons as they get sent in, again, takes me about 24 hours. You send me a picture, I will make button and get it back to you the next day. I just keep highlighting them off so that I can keep track. I figure by end of this week, if you have not sent me a picture, I'm going to assume that you don't want button.
Nobody got in period 3?
Period 3 is my advanced class, so they have a whole different thing. Mr. and Mrs. Williams kid?
Bro.
I don't know how you want me to
You
describe
don't know what Daniel is?
How did I win?
the kids, because you got a perfect score on your first try on the quiz, so go you. So that was the only way to get it, was by getting perfect score on quiz on first try. Good job. Alright. Then to you guys.
I almost got a perfect score.
Again, to remind you, I figure the more times I say it, the better chance it might stick in head, till page 160, and I'll try to tell you again at the end. Here's how today works. We have two different ways. Oh, really, not quite yet. I have two more things to say, I forgot. Schedule for today, I'm going to read chapter 10. We're going to talk about Rumble. We're going to talk about Johnny. Then we're going to hopefully get a chance to talk about Dally because he has his big scene coming up. Tomorrow, I'm going to start on page 160 and read chapter 11. Friday, we're going to talk about the entire book, things that happen in it and stuff like that. The test for Monday, I have now cut down to 35 questions from the 50 I was originally aiming for. And I figure 35 should probably be better than 50 for you. On that one, what I'm aiming for is, again, if you get a 75% on your first attempt, you get to go to the movie after school. If you get the 95% or higher, I will buy your popcorn, and I will bring popcorn bags for anyone who gets that. No, I do not know what day we're doing it yet. Kids who get that score get a chance to vote, and then we'll make the decision. Presley? We already did it. It was your speech. You did it.
Like the final?
Yeah.
The end of the school year?
Yeah. I figure a lot of you guys don't really put effort into things at the end, so I give you your final earlier in the year because your final is just a big speech. And so I have you guys do the big speech when you guys are still caring about things, and that becomes your final. And if you want to redo it, you're more than welcome to, but that was my way of trying to be nice to people.
Wait, which speech?
The one that you guys had, we only had the one big speech where you had to stand up in front of the room.
What, that's the final?
That was your final.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, was it the one where you had to like make up a story?
Either do a story or you did the fable, the story
yeah,
about your life.
Oh,
the
That was a
book.
good one.
I thought so too. I was trying to be nice to you.
Oh,
It's
my
really
God.
easy.
Thank you so
Also,
much.
to help you guys out for Monday's test, I have 2 review things to help you. I will be posting a practice test, one of my old versions of the test. I will be posting. You're welcome to do it if you want. Or I have the extra credit crossword word find, and you are welcome to do that if you want to. This one, you have to finish the book first or wait till Friday. But other than that, that was my way of trying to help you. Yeah? Now, so, here's how we're going to do today. Turns out, some of my classes have kids who did not read. Which, okay. Problem is, I can't have a discussion with you over what happened if you did not read. So, I have 2 different versions of class today, and we're going to figure out which version you guys get to do. I'm going to go through and ask questions as we do our discussion. Once you answer a question, you do not get to answer again. So that way you can't have the one kid who read answer all the questions. Some classes, we got through 2 questions, and we ran out of kids who read. Other classes, we got through all of the questions because we had enough kids who read. So we're going to find out in here in a moment. If we only had 2 or 3 kids who read, that's fine. It means that we don't have discussion and I just get to move on and keep reading with you. If we had a bunch of kids who read, we get to have more discussion. My thinking is to the point in the year where I can't care more than you. If you don't care, I can't drag you across the finish line. If you care enough to read, I will absolutely put everything I can into it. Those of you who didn't, so be it. Let's find out. Oh, I did find a little 8-bit thing of the little Rumblet thing, since we got into the Rumble. I thought it was kind of adorable. I have no idea why they made the greasers look like they are emo,
Oh.
but I thought it was
I
kind of
think
adorable.
this looks at some point.
I mean, here, at least they gave Ponyboy the right kind of hair, and 2-bit has the right kind of hair, and Dallas, completely wrong, because he's supposed to be blonde, so I have no idea on that one. I think I should take one of those over and switch them, but I didn't make this. Alright, let's find out. We'll throw you an easy question to start off with. In the Rumble, what are the 2 sides?
Socials and greasers.
Nice enough. Socias and greasers are the 2 ones that are in the fight. To go into the fight, the whole point of it is, if the Socias win, what happens? So the way to do it first is if everyone knows it, you can all say it. If not everyone knows it, one kid says it, and that becomes their one chance to answer. If nobody answers, that becomes my way of knowing that we don't know that one. It's a fun game. Victor?
The greasers run away.
So
What?
if
Are you drunk? That's not even the right
Just-
answer.
That's not-
That's
That's
not the right
nothing to
answer.
do with the
And you still got
question.
that wrong.
do you see all these kids attacking you?
Victor, these
Like they
yours.
raised their hand? Bunch of haters
No,
in here.
actually, you're confident for
So on that one.
answering
Good
the
job,
Well, it was
Victor.
the Victor, wrong answer. You might be right. You might be right.
So backing up, if the greasers win, what happens?
They get $1 million.
Wait.
I am waiting. That's literally what I'm doing. Presley,
Oh, do they like have to? Wait.
I am still
Do
waiting.
they? Never mind.
Okay,
I
done.
read it, but I don't remember.
Akshat?
The Socs, like, never mess with the greasers all the time.
Yeah, again, I didn't think it was that hard of a question. That was kind of scary. Yeah. If the greasers win, the Socias, by the way, that was the easy question. I'm a little scared now. Then the Socias have to leave the greaser area and they can never come back in there again. So now, Presley, wait, no, not Presley, you're still in. Akshat, you no longer get to answer. You are now out.
Oh.
I know. So, if the Socias win, what happens?
Wait, what's the same?
It's not. I said if the greasers win. The Socias are the other side. Simeon,
They can terrorize the city.
kind of, close enough. The fact
I
that
just guessed that.
yeah, I know that was it's because it's not in the story. I was just seeing which kid can actually guess the correct answer. They never come out and say it. If the Socias win, they just get to keep being jerks and meanies and go around beating up greasers all the time. The big thing is if the greasers win. If the Socias win, they get to keep terrorizing the city as they've been doing this entire time. Ooh, I think this is an easy one. We're gonna find out. Who is it the greasers choose to start the fight for them? Well, if we all know it, you can just say it.
Dairy.
There you go. So again, you don't. If everyone knows it, then you can just yell the answer out.
Dairy.
Only two people can't yell out answers. That kid and that kid. The rest of you, because you already got your points from being a smart kid, so now you can't try to help them. Now they have to help themselves. Dairy. Ooh, here's my next question. Why did they choose Dairy?
Because
He's the biggest. He's the
There
biggest.
you go. So far you guys are doing well. He's the biggest and the strongest. The thinking the greasers
Oh,
have is
five people
if you put Dairy up first and he stands and goes, Dairy, smash, and he gets all flexy on them, and the Socias walk up and no Soc wants to fight him, there's no rumble. Because if no one's brave enough to fight Dairy, all the greasers go, yeah, who's going to fight him? And the Socias go, none of us. And then the greasers go, we win, and game over. But luckily, the Socias do have someone. And that,
Paul.
there you go. Ooh, hang on. Who is Paul?
Oh, his ex-friend.
There you go. See, I told you.
I have 8.
We're so far, we're cooking. And so Paul would be his old friend. That was the one that he used to play football with, and he steps up. Now, it turns out, I think, Paul's a wussy because of how Paul starts the fight, but we'll get there in a moment. And I think it's kind of a cheap shot, but we'll talk about that. So we got to, see, so you guys doing? Look at you, you're doing better than the first period. So, this was a picture from a movie I went to track down for Rumble. This is going to be,
Dairy.
you can tell because of his bowling ball arms, that's going to be Dairy. Who's this going to be?
Paul.
Nicely done again, that's Paul getting ready to get punched right in the face. Then, there's a couple other ones. This one is a character you should know.
Dairy.
Not Dally. Steve. Nicely done.
Kind of looks like Dairy.
Almost it, but not too bad. And this one is one you should know.
Pony Boy.
Ooh, here's your hint.
Soda Pop. Oh, Dally.
Good job. Why was that a good hint?
Because
Because his arm doesn't work.
There you go. So that's Dally over here with his busted arm on the other side. And in theory, you can't see him, but Pony Boy's laying on the ground getting kicked in the head. That would be in that little back part over there.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't know.
Why is he getting kicked on the
If you
Well,
read the story,
Is he gonna
Should've
die?
read the book.
No.
Yes, he's gonna die.
Yes, everyone. Yes.
everyone dies.
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone dies. It was a great.
So
Then
this
he
part-
died in a house fire.
Now we're getting more to the ones that we don't know if everyone knows. This
Are
is
you
before the fight starts, when not Pony Boy, Dairy and Paul are doing that whole facing each other and they're not throwing the first punch. Who is the surprise guest?
Dally.
See, you guys know it. Dally comes running in. This is why I think Paul is kind of a sucker punch, because they're both doing that whole, you stand and get ready to fight each other, and you both have your arms up, and no one's throwing the first punch, and then Dally runs in, and he's like, you can't have a fight without me! And Dairy goes, who dat? And that's when Paul's like, chop, and punches him. Of course, you don't sucker punch the Hulk, because Dairy goes, ah! And then like goes and attacks him, at least in my imagination. And so that's when you have Dally come running in late. Whenever Ponyboy gets in, normally, Ponyboy has a fight buddy. Who's his fight buddy?
Johnny.
Why does Johnny not join him?
Because he's
in
in
the
the
hospital.
hospital.
Dead.
Does make things tough.
Bro,
So,
Simeon,
for
be
this
quiet.
fight, Ponyboy has a different fight buddy.
Is that
And that would be
Dally.
Dallas Winston.
Why is that his
Because
fight
he
buddy?
only has one arm.
So they figure it kind of works out because Dally's got his one dangle arm, he's got his one good punching arm,
Like evens out.
and it kind of evens out. By the way, my thinking is Johnny could have still been in the Rumble. That's quitter thinking. because I think you still could have brought him to the run. Don't you shake your head at me. Because what are you thinking? The fact that he has a broken back? Perfect. Derry could pick him up by the legs and just swing him around.
He has one arm.
Correct, not Derry.
no, wait,
Derry, the muscles. He'd pick,
Oh.
not Dally, he'd just fall over. But
Yeah.
Derry could swing him around, and you would have Johnny with his little arms, and every time you swing him around, he'd be like, slap, 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 slap. Slap, 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 slap. And it would
like
be.
a helicopter.
So now you're thinking, well, Mr. Broviac, what if he gets hurt? He's not gonna feel it. He's crippled with a broken
Yeah,
back.
he's paralyzed.
You can even swing him around a couple times and like go, whoa, and like let him go, and he'll just go flying through the air, and then slap, slap. You guys are quitters. Listen, if any one of you had a broken back and we had a fight, I would pick you up and swing you around. That's how much I care for each and every
I'm
one of you.
arresting you
No,
for
you're-
child abuse.
If they have like.
If you need me to, I'll break your back right now to help get things started.
No, my back's already broken.
Take that.
No,
Take that.
I'm
I'm
good.
arresting you for
Oh,
child
I'm just trying to offer to help, man.
You do that to my back.
And all right. So on this one, which side manages to win? How do we know the greasers win?
Because the show.
They start running.
There you go. I'll take it. That's when all of the socias run away. That's how you know the greasers win. There you go. Ooh. Right after the fight, Ponyboy goes to the hospital. Why?
Because he gets beat up bad.
See Johnny.
Has nothing to do with him getting
Oh,
beat
yeah,
up.
true.
This is my way of saying,
Okay.
uh-huh.
No,
Good job,
I missed
William.
Him up, I missed him up. He does go to the hospital.
And that's
like Dan
because
does.
Dally, as soon as the fight ends and the socias run, Dally turns and goes, we gotta go to the hospital.
I know
to
why
see
Johnny dies though.
And that's what we're gonna get to.
Everybody.
No,
This
like,
is the
there's
scene we're
another
gonna
reason.
talk about in a moment
Stay gold.
when he says stay gold. So I'm gonna read that last little bit. Hopefully you wrote it on your own so it doesn't hit you as hard. That's why I wanted you to read that part at home. Otherwise, this might be a bit of a shock to you.
I can't take another time of crying. I don't even know.
Just give up on having emotions.
It's a
There's so much
fictional
easier.
character.
When George died in Young Sheldon, I was crying for an
my
hour.
God.
I cried for
Yeah,
an
it's a
hour.
fictional character.
Wait, what page is it? I don't care.
What
page is it? 68.
It's page whatever page is in here.
Right? Isn't that like the perfect meme? Come on, Gunny. I'm so happy when I
If it
found
had a tissue box,
Oh,
it
found
would
it.
be perfect.
Uh,
I was crying on the bed and
Page 147 at the bottom,
I was
This is only.
where it says, we ran through the lobby. Ooh, because who goes to the hospital with Ponyboy?
Dallas.
So this is Dally and Ponyboy running through the lobby of the hospital. Bottom of page 147. We ran through the lobby and oh, real quick timeout. Good job, you guys. We actually got through all the questions with you guys. Low-key a little proud of you. All right. Hey, don't go that far. I'm not going to applaud. Kidding, you can applaud. That's fine. I was kind of proud of you guys doing that one. All right. We ran through. Now some awkward applauding. We ran through the lobby. And by the way,
Bro,
they can
stop!
all hear your awkward applauding now. They're going to make fun of you later.
oh shoot.
Make fun of them later. Okay.
No, wait, no.
We ran through the lobby and crowded past people into the elevator. Several people yelled at us, I think because we were pretty racked up looking. But Dally had nothing on his mind except Johnny, and I was too mixed up to know anything, but I had to follow Dally. When we finally got to Johnny's room, the doctor stopped us. I'm sorry, boys, but he's dying. We gotta see him, Dally said, and flicked out 2-bit switchblade. His voice was shaking. We're gonna see him, and if you give us any static, you're gonna end up on your own operating table. The doctor didn't bat an eye. Yeah, you can see him, but it's because you're his friends, not because of that knife. Dally looked at him for a second, and then put the knife back in his pocket. We both went into Johnny's room, standing there for a second, getting our breath back in heavy gulps. It was awful quiet. It was scary quiet. I looked at Johnny. He was very still. For a moment, I thought in agony, he's dead already. We're too late. Dally swallowed, wiping the sweat off his upper lip. Johnny Cake? Johnny? Johnny stirred weakly, then opened his eyes. Hey. We won, Dally panted. We beat the Socias. We stomped them, chased them out of our territory. Johnny didn't even try to grin at him. Useless. Fighting's no good. He was awful white. Dally licked his lips nervously. They're still writing editorials about you in the paper for being a hero and all? He was talking too fast and too calmly. Yeah, they're calling you a hero now and heroizing all the greasers. We're all proud of you, buddy. Johnny's eyes glowed. Dally was proud of him. It was all Johnny'd ever wanted. Pony boy. I barely heard him. I came close, leaned over to hear what he was going to say. Stay gold, pony boy. Stay gold. The pillow seemed to sink a little, and Johnny died. I mean, you read about people looking peacefully asleep when they're dead, but they don't. Johnny just looked dead, like a candle with the flame gone. I tried to say something, but I couldn't make a sound. Dally swallowed and reached over to push Johnny's hair back. I never could keep that hair back. That's what you get for trying to help people, you little punk. That's what you get. Whirling suddenly, he slammed back against the wall. His face contracted in agony. Sweat streamed down his face. Johnny! He begged, slamming one fist against the wall, hammering it to make it obey his will. Johnny, don't die. Please don't die. He suddenly bolted through the door and down the hall. And Johnny's dead.
Hi, Yellow Bro.
When Johnny says stay gold, what's he telling him?
Stay happy.
Who does he not want him to become like? Now, my thought is he doesn't want him to become like Dally because he doesn't see a whole lot of gold in Dally, and he knows that a lot of bad stuff is happening to Ponyboy right now. So he's like, hey, life sucks, but stay happy. Find the happy things that are in there. So that's the whole stay gold part. Also, with him dying, there's two injuries he has. One is probably worse than the other. What is one of his injuries?
His back.
Yeah, he's got a broken back, so he's paralyzed. That doesn't kill you. You can have a broken spine and live your whole life without an issue. The other one is a slightly bigger problem, and that is the whole big burn thing. That's bad, but not always enough to kill you. What kills Johnny is Johnny. So here's what's going on. With this, if you've ever seen a movie or a TV show where they bring a person into the doctor and the doctor's like, ooh, his injuries are bad, but if he's a fighter, he can pull through. That's a legit thing. It's the thing where the human brain can sort of help you overcome injuries. But think about Johnny. Best case scenario. Everything goes the way he wants. He's still crippled for life, but now he heals from the burns and he's in a wheelchair or in a bed and he has to stay home all the time.
Oh.
What's his home life like?
Terrible.
So does he want to go home?
No.
So one of the things I don't know if you caught was when he's having the conversation with Ponyboy, and Ponyboy talks about the fact that Johnny's dad beats him with a 2x4. If you don't know what a 2x4 is, this is a 2x4.
Oh.
This is what his dad uses to beat him on a regular basis.
What?
That's not healthy. So best case scenario, Johnny gets to go back to that home. I don't think he wants to. I think this is literally right now, Johnny's like, I'm a hero. People are looking up to me. Things look kind of good. He's like, if I heal and go home, my life is awful. So I think it's just generally he just kind of lets go and sort of releases. As sad as that is, this is his happiest moment.
But he could just like live in dirt.
He could live with who?
Dirt.
And so I've had kids bring that up,
That's too
but part of
much
it
fun
is
to them.
you can't just steal a kid. They kind of frown on that, and that would require Johnny's parents to let him go,
Well, his
and
parents
they don't
even
seem like
care.
that kind of people.
But his parents don't even
His parents
care
don't
about
even
him.
They don't, but they do like yelling. I hate to tell you, there are some bad parents out there. And I have a feeling this is one of those examples where I don't think his parents would let him go because I don't think they want him there, but I think they want to yell at him. And so it sucks, but I've had a number of kids who've had that same kind of home life, and it's just sometimes there's just bad people. And I think that's what Johnny's going through here. And Johnny's like, I have an escape. And he goes out. Dally does not react well to the news, which is going to bring us to Chapter 10. And here we're going to find out what Dally does because of that. Ooh, speaking of the quiz from before, what is Dally's gold?
It's like Johnny.
Johnny. What happened to his gold?
Died.
So does Dally have gold anymore?
No. It's gone.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Okay, so what do I see?
So I showed you guys this yesterday. Just so you know, as of now, we are now at this point.
Wait.
We have not hit climax yet. Climax is going to come in Chapter 10. We are right at the edge of it. Oh, you guys remember this picture? Ready?
No.
Oh my god, that's too far.
I knew you were gonna do that.
Hashtag too soon.
I knew you were
I
gonna
thought you
do
were gonna put him in
that. I was
a
about to say, don't you do that.
I was gonna say then Johnny could
It's
just
not
live
like
in
I
a
killed him.
treehouse.
I thought you were gonna replace him with like Joe Swanson.
I was gonna say Johnny could just live in a tree house and then I forgot.
Page 150, chapter 10. Oh, how did Ponyboy get to the hospital?
Car.
Whose car?
Just some random guy.
Isn't it
Dally.
Shay's?
Dally.
Yeah.
And what did Dally just do?
Crashed out.
And ran away. So now Ponyboy's at the hospital with no
I
car.
got it mixed up now.
You did. I know. It's coming up in literally just a moment.
Then,
You can drive on air.
oh,
You could try that, yes.
he could try walking.
Let's go to hoverboard.
I walked down the hall in a daze. Dally had taken the car, and I started the long walk home in a stupor. Johnny was dead. But he wasn't. That still body back in the hospital, that wasn't Johnny. Johnny's somewhere else. Maybe asleep in the lot, playing the pinball machine in the bowling alley, sitting on the back steps of the church in Windricksville. I'd go home and walk by the lot, and Johnny would be sitting on the curb smoking a cigarette. Maybe we'd lie on our backs and watch the stars. He isn't dead, I said to myself. He isn't dead. And this time my dreaming worked. I convinced myself that he wasn't dead. Do you guys know the 5 stages of grief? There you go. Goes denial into anger. The first one being denial, and that's what he's going through here. He's at stage of grief where he literally just watched his friend die, and so the first stage is he's not dead. He's alive somewhere. I'm imagining it. I must have wandered around for hours, sometimes even out into the street, getting honked at and cussed out. I might have stumbled around all night, except for a man who asked me if I wanted a ride. Huh? Yeah, I guess so, I said, and I got in. The man, who was in his mid-20s, looked at me. When I read this book when I was in junior high, I thought for sure this story was going to take a different turn at this point, because I thought it was going to go into like creepy white van mode.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's what
Oh no, I was like, oh, it's going to take a turn. Are you alright, kid? You look like you've been in a fight. I have been. A rumble? I'm okay. Johnny's not dead, I told myself, and I believed it. I hate to tell you this, kiddo, but you're bleeding all over my car seats. I blinked. I am? Yeah, your head. I reached up to scratch the side of my head where it had been itching for a while, and when I looked at my hand, it was smeared with blood. Oh, gosh, mister, I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. This wreck's been through worse. What's your address? I'm not about to dump a hurt kid out on the streets this time of night. I told him. He drove me to my house, and I got out. Thanks a lot. See, not creepy. Everything's good. What was left of our gang was in the living room. Steve was stretched out on the sofa, his shirt unbuttoned and his side bandaged. His eyes were closed, but when the door shut behind me, he opened them, and I suddenly wondered if my own eyes looked as feverish and bewildered as his. Soda had a wide cut on his lip and a bruise across his cheek. There was a Band-Aid over Derry's forehead, and he had a black eye. One side of Two-Bit's face was taped up. I found out later he had 4 stitches in his cheek and 7 in his hand, where he had busted his knuckles open over Asocia's head. They were lounging around, reading the paper, smoking. Where's the party? I thought dully. Weren't Soda and Steve planning a party after the rumble? They all looked up when I walked in. Derry leaped to his feet. Where have you been? Oh, don't start that again. He stopped suddenly. Oh, Ponyboy, what's the matter? I looked at all of them, a little frightened. Johnny, he's dead. My voice sounded strange, even to me. But he's not dead, a voice in my head said. We told him about beating the Socias, and I don't know. He just died. He told me to stay gold, I remember. What was he talking about? There was a stricken silence. I don't think any of us had realized how bad off Johnny really had been. Soda made a funny noise and looked like he was going to start crying. Two-Bit's eyes were closed and his teeth were clenched. And I suddenly remembered Dally pounding on the wall. Dallas is gone. He ran out like the devil was after him. He's going to blow up. He couldn't take it. How can I take it, I wondered. Dally is tougher than I am. Why can I take it when Dally can't? And then I knew. Johnny was the only thing Dally loved. And now Johnny was gone. So he finally broke. Two-Bit spoke everyone's feelings. So even Dally has a breaking point. I started shaking. Derry said something in a low voice to Soda. Pony boy? Soda said softly, like he was talking to an injured animal. You look sick. You should sit down. I backed up, just like a frightened animal, shaking my head. I'm okay. I'm okay. I felt sick. I felt as if any minute I was going to fall flat on my face, but I shook my head. Oh, I don't want to sit down. Derry took a step toward me, but I backed away. Don't touch me! My heart was pounding in slow thump, 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 throbbing at the side of my head, and I wondered if everyone else could hear it. Maybe that's why they're all looking at me, I thought. They can hear my heart beating. The phone rang, and after a moment's hesitation, Derry turned from me to it. Said, hello? And then listened. Hung up quickly. It was Dally. Sorry, it was Dally. He phoned from a phone booth. He's just robbed a grocery store. The cops are after him. We got to hide him. He'll be at the lot in a minute. We all left the house at a dead run. Even Steve. And I wondered vaguely why no one was doing somersaults off the steps this time. Things were sliding in and out of focus. And it seemed funny to me that I couldn't run in a straight line. Do you know why he can't run in a straight line? Yeah, this is the whole concussion thing that's going to come back. Apparently getting kicked in the head is not so good. Shocker.
And he was sick before that,
That's
so
true.
that's
not-
even worse.
Does not make it any better. We reached the vacant lot just as Dally came in, running as hard as he could from the opposite direction. The wail of a siren grew louder, and then a police car pulled up across the street from the lot. Doors slammed as the policeman leaped out. Dally had reached the circle of light under the street lamp, and skidding to a halt, he turned and jerked a black object from his waistband. I remembered his voice. I've been carrying a heater. It ain't loaded, but it sure does help a bluff. It was only yesterday that Dally had told Johnny and me that. But yesterday was years ago. A lifetime ago. Dally raised the gun. And I thought, you blasted fool! They don't know you're only bluffing! And even as the policeman's guns spit fire into the night, I knew that's what Dally wanted. He was jerked half around by the impact of the bullets, then slowly crumpled with a look of grim triumph on his face. He was dead before he hit the ground. But I knew that's what he wanted. Even as the lot echoed with the cracks of the shots, even as I begged silently, please, not him! Not him and Johnny both! I knew he'd be dead, because Dally Winston wanted to be dead, and he got what he wanted. Nobody would write editorials praising Dally. 2 friends of mine had died that night. One a hero, the other a hoodlum. But I remember Dally pulling Johnny through the window of the burning church. Dally giving his gun, although it could mean jail for him. Dally risking his life for us, trying to keep Johnny out of trouble. And now he was a dead juvenile delinquent, and there wouldn't be any editorials in